Okay, so looking at the table, and it's creating a table with a border width of 1, which means the border will show when we look at it, as opposed to it not showing. Okay, let's take this. Let's move this over here. So there's a border you can see there. Now, if I didn't want a border, simply could have said 0. No border. Or if I wanted a thicker border, I could have said 2. And it gives me a thicker border. Caption is like a title for the table. And you'll see that there. T head is the header. So if it's a table, what's the header for the for it? And you can also create a footer, which will be, regardless of where you put this, the T footer will always show at the bottom and the T header at the top. Then you get to the table body, and each one of these is a row. TR stands for table row. TD is a table data, although it's a column. You can think of it as a column. And then if we look at it, basically what you've got is you've got rows and columns. Right, so T head is the head element. Body is where the primary data is stored. The footer would be at the very bottom where you have calculations and whatnot. TR is table row. TD is a table data element. Table data. Really a cell or a column. And you've got some other options too. You can make tables span rows and span columns. You can embed other elements within it, including images. You can put images in them. And I know we've got another one here that's a little more advanced. Take a look at this one in a moment. Okay, we'll see how this works, but you can see it's doing stuff like column span 4, which means it's going to go across 4 columns. This one here is going to go row span 2, which means it's going to use up 2 rows in a row, and it's going to embed an image, camel.png. And if we take a look at it, we'll see here's where it spanned 4 rows, right, or 4 columns, excuse me. That spanned 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here's where it spanned 2 rows to give you the image. And then the rest of these, I think, are just normal cells. So it's kind of like an Excel where you can merge and split cells. It's almost like that. So in the first row, we create 2 rows out of it. And then each one of these data elements, we have just normal cells. And that's what you get. Okay, forms, which is what we use a lot of here. We'll look at some very simple forms. This one is going to submit to I don't like that. Or email value. We'll see how this works. It says action is basically where the form goes when you click the submit button, where it sends the data to. So right now it's going to send it to dietel.com. And it's got a bunch of information, and it's got a very simple feedback. So let's take a look at this one. It's just going to be form 1. Okay. Okay, so the problem with this I'm not going to want to do that. Testmail.php. Okay, so this is how you would send stuff in general. I may have to put this onto my server. I'm not really sure. So I'd have to create something called testmail.php on my server. And so we'll look at a very simple server-side script. And the way you would do that is to get into it. I use a tool called Putty. It works pretty good. And I said testmail.php was what I'm going to call it, right? Doesn't exist. Let's cheat a little. I now I've got other PHP stuff here. Okay, just blocking you guys out for a moment. Sorry, I don't want you to see my passwords. Okay, you can see now. Alright, so let's take a look at this thing here. So, recipient. Okay, so I'm going to use the PHP mail thing. Sends it to me. The subject. The message of the body of the thing, which we're going to keep pretty straightforward and simple. Name, dollar name. And actually, whether this happens or not, we're going to do a redirect. Redirect. I don't think we really care if this thing succeeds or not. We hope it does. See if this works. Not sure if I can do it directly from here. I may have to upload this to my site. URL not found. Testmail.php. It's saying it's not found. Testmail.php. It's right there. Oops. It's not found. Okay, I didn't like something. Oh, I know what I didn't like. Well, it did the redirect. Let's see if it got my email. It sent the email to me. Yep, webmaster@timlin.net, feedback form. Name Bob Timlin. So that's a form here. And it worked. Entering just one item, and it emailed it to me. Pretty straightforward. I mean, the PHP code necessary to do it is this. I'll just put it up in here and so you can see it. But it's not a lot, as you can see. So we went there and it did it, and then it redirected it to my site. Of course, I think there's a better command for doing a redirect than include. I just don't remember it offhand. Of course, the easy way to figure it out is let's see, PHP redirect. How do you do a redirect? Sorry. Let's try. It's a script redirect, isn't it? Must be a redirect function in there. Should be easy. This one is writing your own one. Alright. Well, that's probably going to be the easiest way to do it, I think. Alright. And let's say we wanted to have some other stuff in there. Let's say we wanted to say, oh, I really want to have their email too. It's pretty easy to add that. We add that there, then we come into this guy here, and I say, really just another one of these guys. Name becomes email. You might want to make it a little bigger for email, like 50. Let's make that 50 as well. Refresh that. Now you see you've got two prompts for email. If I go back to my PHP, I better change that to $email because it is case sensitive. And if I say OK, tester, and it's timlinar@smccd.edu. Maybe down for maintenance. What would that be? See if the email went through. It might be this redirect that it doesn't like. Oh, I know what the problem is. Close that. I didn't do the redirect, it's the only problem, but I bet you it sent the email. No, maybe it didn't. That was there from last time. Okay, so it didn't send the email either. Why did it? Let's see if that's the problem. Yes, we got the email this time. Okay, so I didn't like the redirect, but now it gave me the information I entered there. And that's really a much better way of doing it than using that mail to tag that tries to attempt to launch Outlook or something like that. It's a really bad way of doing it. Let's see.